Hi everyone, welcome back. If this kind of content helps you in any way, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It is a small gesture, but it really supports the work and helps this message reach more people who need it. Today we are going to talk about a feeling that many people carry in silence. Feeling stuck. That strange place where life is moving, days are passing, but inside it feels like you are not really going anywhere. You wake up, you check your phone, you answer messages, you do what you have to do. You watch something, you scroll a little, you eat, you try to sleep. And when the day ends, there is a quiet thought. I am tired, but I do not feel like I am actually moving forward. You are not in a crisis. You are not in a big disaster. From the outside, your life may look okay, but inside, it feels like you are walking in the same circle, again and again. Stuck. Maybe this shows up in your English. You have studied, you know words, you understand a lot, but you feel like you are always at the same level. You are not a beginner, but you also do not feel free. You have moments of motivation, then long periods where nothing changes. Or maybe you feel stuck in your work, in a relationship, in your routine. You feel too tired to change, but also too uncomfortable to stay exactly like this. It is a strange prison. The doors are open, but you cannot move. Today, I want to talk about why this happens, why you feel stuck. Not with judgment, not with easy phrases, but with honesty. Because when you understand what is really happening, you can stop calling yourself lazy or broken and start seeing what needs to be adjusted inside and around you. Let us start with something important. Feeling stuck does not mean there is something wrong with your intelligence, your value, or your potential. Feeling stuck is usually a sign that something in your system is out of alignment. Your desires, your fears, your habits, your environment, they are not working together. They are pulling you in different directions. Imagine a car with one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake. The engine is working, fuel is burning, but the car does not move much. You hear noise, you feel vibration, but you stay almost in the same place. This is what happens inside many people. They want to move. They want to grow. They press the gas with their desires, with their dreams, but at the same time, they are pressing the brake with their fears, with their beliefs, with their habits. So they feel exhausted, but not advanced. Busy, but not transformed. Let us look at some of the most common brakes that keep you stuck. The first one is invisible, but very powerful. Unrealistic expectations. You tell yourself that real change should be fast, dramatic, clear. You imagine that if you were really on the right path, you would feel constant motivation, constant clarity, constant progress. Social media does not help. You see other people's best moments, their before and after, and your brain fills the space in the middle with a fantasy. You do not see the messy middle. You do not see how long they felt stuck before something changed. So when your growth is slow, confusing, full of doubts, you think, something is wrong. Maybe I am not good enough. Maybe this is not for me. This belief is a break. It makes you stop too early. You quit right before things start to move. The second break is fear of discomfort. Almost every change you say you want requires some moment of discomfort. Speaking English in real life, not only in your head. Saying no when you always say yes. Changing a habit. Facing a conversation. trying something new. Your mind says, I want growth, but your body says, I want comfort. And usually, the body wins because discomfort feels like danger. Your nervous system is designed to protect you. It reacts to emotional discomfort almost as if it were physical danger. Heart beating faster, breathing shallower, muscles tight. So you avoid the very situations that would move you. You avoid the call, the meeting, the practice, the first step. You stay in the same place, not because you are weak, but because your system is trying to keep you safe. The third break is lack of clarity. You say, I feel stuck. I want to move. I want to change. But if someone asks, change into what? Move toward where? Often the answer is very vague. I want a better life. I want to be fluent. I want to be happy. These are beautiful, but they are not clear, and your brain does not like to move toward fog. When there is no concrete direction, every step feels confusing. Should I do this? Should I do that? You think and think and think. You analyze videos. You collect tips. You start following 10 new accounts. But action does not happen. Because your brain cannot see a simple next move. Clarity is like a light on the road. Without it, you walk slowly, or you freeze. The fourth break is emotional overload. Sometimes you do not move, not because you do not know what to do, but because you do not have the emotional energy to do it. You may be carrying old sadness, old frustration, stress from work, family pressure, and still expect yourself to perform at 100%. You call yourself lazy, but in reality, you are overloaded. Your system is tired. Think about your phone. When the battery is at 2%, it starts to slow down. It does not open everything. It tries to survive. You do the same. If your emotional battery is always low, you will naturally choose the easiest, least demanding option. Not because you do not care, but because you are trying to protect what is left of you. The fifth break is repeating without reflecting. You do things. You study. You work. You watch content. But you rarely stop to ask, what is working? What is not working? What needs to change? Without reflection, you can spend months, even years, doing the same actions that do not really move you. You say, I am stuck, but in reality, you are running on a treadmill, moving but not advancing. In your English, this looks like studying grammar again and again, but almost never speaking, or watching videos without really listening with full attention, or jumping between methods every week without staying long enough to see real impact. Now, there is another layer to feeling stuck. Sometimes you do not move because deep inside, you are not fully convinced that you are allowed to change. Maybe a part of you feels guilty about wanting more. Maybe you grew up hearing, be realistic. Do not dream too big. People like us do not do these things. So when you start to move, an inner voice says, who do you think you are? This creates an internal conflict. One part of you wants to grow. Another part is afraid of what growth means. Afraid of how people will react. Afraid of becoming different from the people you love. So you stay in the middle. Not fully where you are. Not fully where you could be. Stuck. If you recognize yourself in any of this, take a breath. There is nothing wrong with you. Feeling stuck is a sign, not a sentence. It is your system saying, something needs attention. Something needs to be adjusted. So, what can you do about it? How do you begin to move when you feel stuck? The first step is to tell the truth to yourself, not the dramatic version, not the I am a failure story. The simple truth. Where am I really? In my English, in my work, in my relationships, in my habits. You can ask, if I continue exactly like this for 1 year, how will my life look? Not to scare yourself, but to see the reality. The second step is to make your direction smaller and clearer. Instead of, I want to be fluent, you can say, I want to feel comfortable having a 10-minute conversation with one person about daily topics. Instead of, I want a better life, you can say, I want to have 1 hour per day that feels truly mine, without distractions, without guilt. Clear direction gives your brain something to move toward. The third step is to lower the size of the first action. When you feel stuck, your brain often imagines huge movements. I have to change everything. I have to study 2 hours a day. I have to be disciplined every day. That weight is so heavy that you do nothing. So instead, ask, what is the smallest meaningful action I can take this week toward this direction? Not the perfect action, the doable one. Maybe it is 10 minutes a day of real listening in English with full attention. Maybe it is writing a short paragraph about your day. Maybe it is sending one message to one person. Maybe it is going to bed 30 minutes earlier. When you are stuck, movement is more important than perfection. Small, consistent movement, because motion creates emotion. When you start to move, you start to feel different. The fourth step is to practice discomfort in small doses. If you always avoid discomfort, discomfort stays very big in your mind. But if you intentionally step into small discomforts, you teach your nervous system a new message. This is uncomfortable, but I am safe. I can handle this. For example, you can choose one small moment per day to do something that feels slightly uncomfortable but not dangerous. Speaking English for a few minutes, even if your heart races. Saying, I do not understand. Can you repeat? Instead of pretending. Turning off your phone for 30 minutes. Each time you do this, your comfort zone expands a little. The fifth step is to protect your emotional energy. You cannot expect deep change from a depleted system. This does not mean you need a perfect, peaceful life before you act, but it means you need to respect your limits. Maybe you need to sleep a bit more. Maybe you need 10 minutes a day away from screens. Maybe you need to talk to someone about something you have been carrying alone. Rest is not the enemy of progress. Rest is part of progress. A tired mind stays stuck. A supported mind can move. The sixth step is reflection. Once a week or once every few days, you can ask yourself, what helped me this week? What pulled me backward? What is one thing I can adjust? You do not need an hour. Sometimes 5 honest minutes can change your direction. Without reflection, you repeat. With reflection, you refine. And finally, there is one more element that can quietly unlock movement: compassion. Many people try to escape feeling stuck by attacking themselves. I am useless. I have no discipline. I never finish anything. They use self-hatred as motivation. It does not work. It may create a short burst of action, but then guilt and shame pull them back. You cannot build a free life on top of constant self-violence. Compassion is not saying, everything is fine when it is not. Compassion is saying, things are not fine, but I am willing to walk with myself, not against myself, while I change. It is the difference between pushing a scared child into the water and holding their hand while they learn to swim. You are both the child and the adult. You are scared, and you are also capable of being kind to that fear. So, why do you feel stuck? Because you are human. Because your mind is trying to protect you. Because your expectations, your fears, your habits, and your environment are not yet working as a team. The good news is, you do not need a perfect plan to start moving. You need one honest look at where you are, one clear direction, one small, doable action, and the courage to feel a little uncomfortable on purpose. When this video ends, you do not need to change your entire life, but you can choose one small thing, one step that breaks the pattern of complete stillness. Maybe it is practicing English out loud for 5 minutes. Maybe it is writing down what not stuck would look like in one area of your life. Maybe it is saying no to one thing, so you can say yes to something that matters more. Feeling stuck is not your identity. It is a moment, and moments can change. Slowly, imperfectly, but truly. You are allowed to move again. You are allowed to update your story, even if you have been in the same place for a long time. Your life is not a straight line. It is more like a spiral. Sometimes you feel like you are coming back to the same place, but you are actually seeing it from a higher level, with more wisdom, more awareness. Use this moment not to punish yourself, but to ask, if I take one step from here, what would make my future a little more mine? And then, gently, begin. Thanks for watching.